we on. Now the Red Army. Red and ready, here we on. Yeah, yeah, we on. Red and ready, here we on. Calling on the Red Army. Red and ready, here we on. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, here we on. Yeah.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Randall Mitchell. I am your PNM candidate for the constituency of Labre. And we're here in the borough of Point Fortin for our fourth installment of the PNM's All-In Red, Ready and Responsible Tour. The excitement here is palpable. The crowds are building up, and everyone is excited to hear what the PNM's message is today. We have an exciting lineup of speakers here today. Yours truly, your candidate for the constituency of Labre, and your Minister of Tourism, Culture and the Arts. We also have MP Kennedy Richards, who has been your Member of Parliament in the borough of Point Fortin, the constituency of Point Fortin. It's the cleanest borough and it's the heartbeat of our energy in Trinidad and Tobago. We also have Lisa Atwater, who is your PNM candidate for the constituency of Moruga Tableland. So, it's an exciting lineup of speakers. And last but not least, we have our Prime Minister, Stuart Young, Senior Counsel, Member of Parliament, and your candidate in the next election for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West. So, as we cut away now, when we come back, you're about to hear an interview with your candidate for the constituency of Point Fortin, Kennedy Richards. See you on the other side.
This is the place, the future is here, no time to waste. We build on the strength of those who trod this road before. Coming again, coming as I feel the light, shining so bright in the heart and we soul. Red, black and white, together we strong, come sun, come rain. Cause it's blood in we veins, we all are the same. You don't know we red already, innocent already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Forward, we all want the same thing. Together we aspire, so we must achieve. Call the Red Army, the whole of TNT. So show them we red already, the thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already, the thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Fire in the soul, a nation so strong. Through the heart of a people, the victory is won. We fight for tomorrow, we fight for today. Stand strong together, blow the evil away. If we are one, the victory is sure. Divide and rule, we don't want that no more. Clean heart, clean hands, it's love to the core. And if love is the word, how about that we show? You don't know, so tell them you're ready already. The thing is set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we ready already. The thing is set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we ready already. Thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in.
Be all in for TNT on April 28th. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Can you really trust?
Everywhere we go, country before party. PNM, we working together, we building together. Young will make it better. PNM, side by side, together, we standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Balize in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. PNM, we are one. We stand strong. We are one. We stand strong together. No time to waste.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. On April 28th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Can you really trust the UNC? The last time Kamla and the cabal were in charge, they destroyed your energy sector. They failed to renew critical gas contracts and lied about production levels. They made bad deals and sold out TNT. The last time the UNC won, you lost billions of US dollars. If the UNC wins, you lose billions. We know how this movie ends. Make the last time. On April 28th, reject the UNC.
Again.
Hey! Oh, na. Red and ready, here we are. Yeah! Red and ready, here we are. And all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we are. Yeah! We are. Oh, na. Red and ready, here we are. Calling on the Red Army. Red and ready, here we are. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, here we are. Yeah! We are. Yeah! We red and ready now. Calling the Red Army. Calling out all our we friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountaintop to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. PNM, we working together, we building together. Young will make it better. PNM, side by side together, we standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Balize in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. PNM, we all in. One man going through the vein. We all in. Ready on the road again. We all in. Every green and every race. We all in. Together, no time to waste. We all in. From Frederick Street to Boko Reef. We all in. The Balize is what we need. We all in. Tell them this and say it then. We all in. The PNM we need again. We all in. Taking it to the streets, wherever we meet. We talking to everyone all over the country. The message is loud and clear. We want it to volunteer. Spreading the word. Country before party. PNM, sun or rain together. We remain together. We gonna make things better. PNM, young and old together. Standing tall together. This is a new chapter. Together we standing, no tribes intertwined. Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together. Your future and mine. Ready, hold it steady. PNM, we all in. One blood flowing through we vein. We all in. Red Army on the road again. We all in. Every creed and every race. We all in. Together, no time to waste. We all in. From Frederick Street to Boko Reef. We all in. The Balize is what we need. We all in. Tell them this and say it then. We all in. The PNM we need again. We all in. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah. Red and ready, here we all. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah. We all. Yeah. We red and ready now. PNM, we working together. We building together. We gonna make things better. PNM, side by side together. We standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Balize in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. PNM, we all in. One blood flowing
Good evening, and welcome back. I am Randall Mitchell, your PNM candidate for the constituency of Labrie, and we're here at the fourth installment of the PNM's Red, Ready, and Responsible Meet the People Tour. And with me on set in the beautiful constituency of Point Fortin, we have with us the Member of Parliament for Point Fortin and the candidate in the general elections, April 28th. We have with us Mr. Kennedy Richards. Good evening, Mr. Richards.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I am, too, a son of Point Fortin, having resided here for many, many years in my formative years growing up. But Kennedy, back when I lived here for those 6 years, for those 6 wonderful years, I didn't have such an easy and quick time traversing the roads to get down here in the constituency of Point Fortin. And I know with the highway, you have played a really significant role in working with the Ministry of Works, working with the contractors, keeping them honest to deliver the highway for the people of Point Fortin. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Randall, thank you, and thank you for the introduction. But first, let me thank the Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young, as well as the former Prime Minister and political leader of the People's National Movement, Dr. Keith Rowley, for their advocation on this highway, and Minister Rowan Sinanan for actually being the one to champion and execute through his agencies, the NITCO and Ministry of Works and whatnot. So the highway has indeed played a great role in opening up the Southwestern Peninsula. So, as you would know, a couple of years ago, I say in your formative years, but a couple of years ago, to get from Point Fortin to San Fernando and back was a challenge. You know, and the highway is not fully open, but with the areas that we have access to, we can get to San Fernando and back without any hassle. So it has brought great ease to the people of Point Fortin, and it has brought business to the people of Point Fortin, and it has done wonders for us in Point Fortin. And it's something that we look forward to. We look forward to the final hurdle being crossed, which is the pipeline, which is giving us a bit of challenge. We have to get the permission to cross that pipeline from I think it's Shell or NHC or one of those gas companies. And once that happens, then we will be fully ready. So it goes down from about 20 minutes to San Fernando to about 15. So it's exciting times here in the constituency of Point Fortin.
Exciting times indeed, and I can also tell you that when I lived here, we had use of a very small hospital. We call it a hospital. It was more like a health center in Clifton Hill. But now we see a brand new, beautiful facility, the Point Fortin Hospital. Tell us a little bit about that and how it has helped the constituents of Point Fortin, and not just the constituents of Point Fortin, also the constituents of Labrie and all in the Southwestern Peninsula.
Well, I will take it a little bit further, Honorable. I will take it a little bit further. This Point Fortin Hospital, before Grandy Hospital would have come on stream, before Arima Hospital would have come on stream, you know, this government built a lot of hospitals. You know, and before all of them would have come on stream, a lot of people would have come down to Point Fortin because it was newly open. The services as they rolled out, you know, it was easy to get appointments. It was easy to do everything. So hospital is clean. Hospital, the service, the staff is very friendly. The staff works with the people of Point Fortin, and it continues to be something that we can boast about that our PNM government did for the people of Point Fortin. You know, and healthcare is one of the major things that has improved with that hospital. You know, the small hospital that we had before could not have taken the numbers that this hospital now does over a daily
But
period.
during the COVID pandemic as well, this hospital was one of those standout hospitals for the service delivery of healthcare for the people in the Southwestern Peninsula, and I'm sure you would have gotten a lot of feedback on that.
Well, we had really positive feedback on that during the COVID pandemic, but one of the challenges, so, you know, it has positives and it has negatives. So, you know, as soon as we basically opened the hospital, COVID came.
Yes.
So, you know, people were angered that, listen, we now get the hospital, they're putting it on the COVID schedule. But that's what it was for. You know, it was the hospital. The purpose of the hospital is to save lives. The purpose of the hospital is to give us a fighting chance. You know, and that gave us a fighting chance throughout the pandemic. And we had the use of the old one, you know, as well. And we also did one with the old heritage compound.
Right.
So we were never left out. We were never left without a place where we could go and seek medical attention. So, you know, kudos to Minister Dial Singh, kudos to the government again for ensuring that, you know, Point Fortin is never left out, Point Fortin is never left behind. So that's one of the things that we can boast about.
Well, speaking about facilities, and I've been hearing, because I still have friends in the constituency of Point Fortin.
Is your friends?
You are my friend, but I'm talking to third parties, and I'm hearing that you are one of those groundmen. But we have to, again, yeah. So, I've been hearing that you really are a man of the people, a man on the ground, and you were able to deliver a number of facilities. And one of my old stomping grounds was the Mahaika Oval. Tell us about the Mahaika Oval and what good that has done for the sporting culture in the constituency of Point Fortin.
Well, the Mahaika Oval, as you know, you played football as well. So the Mahaika Oval is a legendary area for sports. You know, back in the day, Mahaika Oval was football, cricket, track, southern games, all games, any games, day, night time. And what we were able to do is to bring back that Mahaika Sporting Complex. It's generally football now. But what we plan to do is utilize that facility and the training that is there to regenerate greatness in Point Fortin where sport is concerned. We had players like Leroy De Leon, Cax Batiste, the Brewsters, the Douglas brothers, you know, and a lot of others. You know, if we could go on whole night talking about greats in Point Fortin, but that Mahaika Oval is there primarily to give us that opportunity to recreate greatness and to, you know, make our stake for the national team players, you know, for the international scene. Football is something that generates a lot of, you know, you can make a living out of football. So we want to ensure that our young people has that opportunity, not just to play locally, but also to develop that talent to play internationally as well.
And as somebody who is a member of parliament, you know, part-time as well as a pilot, part-time, how have you been able to remain grounded and remain determined to get all of these delivery items for the constituency of Point Fortin? I mean, I want to ask you your secrets, because as a new candidate for the constituency of Labre, I also want to bring that level of service to the people and keep people and the welfare of the constituents at the forefront of our service delivery. But tell us, how have you been able to get, you know, all of these things, and tell us what's in store going forward post April 28, 2025, and what could people expect?
Well, listen, I keep it simple. I stay hungry. I stay on the ground. I stay interacting with people, and I stay doing normal things. You know, so I go to the hospital. So if I see something that is wrong, or I see something that I don't like, I bring it up with them immediately, because if I believe what is good for me is good for everybody in Point, and what is good for everybody is also good for me. You know, so I just stay active. You know, whether it's sports, I stay, you know, grounded. What is to come? We have the Coronation Park that is ongoing. The pool is almost done. In about a couple of days, the pool should be completed. The Coronation Park would have a 2,000-seater stadium with an 8-lane Mondo track. The track is going to be red, white, and black as the national colors. We have the Point Fortin Heritage Administrative Building, which all of government services are going to come into one space. So you're going to go in there, and there's going to be no hassle whatsoever. You can get your bill paper in one day. You can get all these services in one day. A lot of things are in store here in Point Fortin, but you know, the genesis of all of that is going to be hard work. The genesis of all of that is going to be having a PNM government in power to ensure that these things are completed. So vote PNM, great is the PNM. We are ready, and responsible.
So thank you, Kennedy Richards, truly admirable. And we go to break, and on the other side of the break, we are back with Paula Gopi-Schoon interviewing a very special guest.
Calling out all our way, friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountaintop to the valley low. Everywhere we go, country before party. We working, we building, young will make it better. Side by side, we standing for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Balize in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through within. We stand strong and we on the road again. We are one, every creed and every race. We stand strong together, no time to quit.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Can you really trust the UNC? The last time Kamla and the cabal were in charge, they squandered $24 billion in cash and ran up a $9 billion overdraft at the Treasury. All this while energy revenues went from $17 billion to $1 billion. The last time they won, you lost the Treasury. We know how this movie ends. Let's make the last time the last time. On April 28th, reject the UNC.
Again.
Yeah, it's good to reminisce. You know, it's amazing to be at honeymoon grounds in El Dorado in Tunapuna, a place where I've lived, been all my life. Actually, I went to school right at Hillview College right there. So this was really an exercise sporting mecca. You know, I will come here sometimes on mornings, sometimes on evenings, do a couple laps, do some exercise, you know what I mean, mingle with some of the people that are here, because again, it's, as you can see, it's very scenic. Tunapuna is really a nice place. Yeah, it's good to reminisce. You know, it's amazing to be at honeymoon grounds in El Dorado in Tunapuna, a place where I've lived, been all my life. Actually, I went to school right at Hillview College right there. So this was really an exercise sporting mecca. You know, I will come here sometimes on mornings, sometimes on evenings, do a couple laps, do some exercise, you know what I mean, mingle with some of the people that are here, because again, it's, as you can see, it's very scenic. Tunapuna is really a nice place. You know, I've lived here all my life. 5 years as a councillor, 10 years as a member of parliament, and I have served. I'm looking forward to a third term, just to serve the people, do what I can do best.
He helps people who in need. He don't give them a run around when you want help. He help you. He just help you. He just take you serious.
Tunapuna looking good. Esmond at Tunapuna looking good. Not now, right? Not now. We at Tunapuna looking good. It's years now. Edmond trying to fix road. All these roads and them. Watch we roads in Tunapuna they're good. I could say with Mr. Esmond, he is trying. He's really trying. And people should give him a chance because he's trying.
As a member of parliament, most times you are judged on what you have delivered. In Tunapuna, we have delivered. We can talk about infrastructural development. We needed some roads to be paved. Yes, they were done. We could identify Mingo Road. We could identify Tunapuna Road. We could identify Baltazar Street. We could identify the Maracas area. We could identify with the Akono, the St. Michael village, a very small village in Tunapuna, Upper St. John Road, and all they needed was some drainage and again, their road to be paved and to be given the necessary infrastructure. That was done. So again, I know St. Michael village is pretty much pleased. And then we could talk about the social aspects. How many persons receive self-help grants? How many persons receive wheelchairs? How many persons receive a simple thing as a walking stick? And again, assisting individuals to qualify for their pensions, for their disability grants, and the various grants that are offered by the Social Development Authority. In terms of community development, we can talk about the El Dorado Community Center, which is right there, which would have opened during my tenure as a member of parliament within the last 10 years. And of course, in 2025, Exodus are the champions. Tunapuna and Esmond Ford is all in for TNT. Because to build a better Tunapuna, we must go all in.
A new chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
And welcome back. We're here in Point Fortin, in the borough of Point Fortin, in the constituency of Point Fortin. And I'm here and I'm joined with Paula Gopi-Schoon, Minister. Paula Gopi-Schoon, Minister of Trade and Industry. And we're here for the fourth installment for the PNM's Red, Ready and Responsible Meet the People Tour. So now, the interviewer becomes the interviewee. So I pass on this interview to you, Paula Gopi-Schoon. How are you feeling?
Very good. I'm happy. There's a lot of energy here at the Point Fortin East Secondary School. As you know, this was my stomping ground, and I think it was your own as well.
Yes, I am a child of Point Fortin, and I know you once represented the constituency of Point Fortin.
Absolutely. I was born and I grew up in Point Fortin, and I represented from the Point Fortin constituency happily from 2007 to 2015. 2015, I'm getting my math right. And what a joy it was to serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And now, Minister, here you are moving from Senator the Honorable to the lower house. You are now going to be a Member of Parliament representing the Labre constituency.
Well, Member of Parliament once again. From 2015 to 2020, I had the honor of serving the people of San Fernando East. And then in 2020 to 2025, I was asked by Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, to serve as one of his Senate in the 12th Republican Parliament in the Senate chamber. And now I have the distinct privilege and honor to be a candidate to represent the people of the great constituency of Labre, and it is indeed a privilege. It feels great. I know the constituency. I spent a lot of time in the constituency. Of course, I'm a child of Point Fortin, but I spent a lot of time. I went to school in the constituency, so I feel really good. And you know, since I have been selected, I have been really warmly welcomed by the executive and members of the People's National Movement within the Labre constituency. And since I've been walking, I really have been embraced with open arms by all the residents we encounter.
It is said that Labre is PNM, but Minister, I'm sure that you're making your rounds on both sides of the constituency. Correct. We all know that Labre is somewhat geographically divided. So there's the Labre that we know, and there's the Palo Seco and the other environs that we also know. Minister, are you hitting both sides?
I am hitting both sides with a distinct sense of excitement. So on the north side, you have areas all the way down from Aripero to Rosilac to Labre, all the way up to Labre, and there are communities such as Sobo, Cochrane, Vance River, Parilands, all the way up to Salazar Trace, which is very, very close to us here in the constituency of Point Fortin. And on the south side, we start from Quarry Village in Siparia, and we go along to Santa Flora, to Los Bajo, to Palo Seco, all the way down to Rancho Quemado and Erin. So it is a wide geographical area, but it really is an area rich in cultural heritage, rich in sporting heritage. And, it's the oil belt. It's considered the oil belt of Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of energy-rich resources, and it truly is a privilege to serve and to be within the constituency of Labre.
Absolutely. It is a neighboring constituency to Point Fortin, and I have seen a number of persons here with the Labre T-shirts supporting their MP for Labre, Randall Mitchell, soon to be MP for Labre. But tell me something. we've done a lot for that is the PNM for the Labrie constituency, and I'm sure you have plans already on your mind. What do you think you're going to bring to the table in your manifesto? What are the key takeaways?
We have done a lot for the constituency of Labrie. I mean, just driving through Labrie, Brighton Estate, you pass the Labrie Industrial Estate, and you see all of these industrial plants. And each one of these plants have been developed for the people of this southwestern peninsula, in particular, the people of the constituency of Labrie and the people of the constituency of Point Fortin, by the People's National Movement. We have done a lot, but of course, we deserve more. Labrie and Point Fortin, we in the southwestern peninsula, in these energy-rich constituencies, have delivered a lot in terms of, national resources to our national development. Over the past years, and I have to thank the outgoing MP, Stephen McClatchy, for his work, his commitment to national service, and his commitment to the people of Labrie. And over the 5 years, we have delivered, the PNM has delivered through MP McClatchy, a brand new community center in Labrie. We've done a number of water projects in the Carapal area that has delivered water 3 times a week, which is a vast improvement to over 300,000 persons in the Labrie constituency. Through the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, with a collaboration of Heritage, we have some youth training skill centers in the constituency of Labrie, and the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service also, they have developed youth training centers in Palo Seco and in Los Bajo in Bennett Village. So there are a lot that has been delivered. As for going forward, I wish to continue the development of the constituency. As I say, we feel we deserve more, and I will continue to deliver for the people of the constituency of Labrie. What is needed? There is some physical infrastructure that's needed. We need some repaved and resurfaced roads. There are some drainage issues. We are getting, I should tell you, a brand new Palo Seco velodrome.
Excellent.
I know that you would know, and you would have your days back in the day of visiting the velodrome, which was probably the premier sporting facility in Trinidad and Tobago for cycling, for cricket, for football, and a number of other sporting activities. And we're getting a brand new velodrome. So I intend to see a lot of those projects through. In the constituency of Labrie as well, we have a very, very large young person demographic. There are a lot of people under the age of 18, and I'm seeing that while government does have a number of programs for young people, perhaps we can do a little better in ensuring the access. We have, through the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, some new facilities, some new training facilities coming here, and they are due to bring a number of the government programs, training in a lot of different skills, technical skills, barbering, hairdressing, nail technicians, a lot of those. So I really intend to work to ensure that education is at the forefront and skills training for young people in the constituency of Labrie remains paramount.
Excellent. Lots of plans, but Minister, I know that you have been an outstanding Minister for Tourism, Culture and the Arts. And of course, tourism-wise, Labrie has a world-famous Pitch Lake. What are your plans for tourism in Labrie?
We have the world-famous Pitch Lake, the ancient Pitch Lake. We are responsible for the museum at the Pitch Lake, and we're responsible for visitors and tourism that occurs at the Pitch Lake. And we have been maintaining the Pitch Lake facility quite well. And I mean, we see a number of visitors always eager to come and see what we see as the 8th wonder of the world. But not just the Pitch Lake. We also have the Vesini Beach facility that at the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts we have developed, and it has been refurbished over the years. And I would say, without a shadow of a doubt, that the Vesini Beach facility is the best beach facility under our management in all of our tourism sites and attractions. We also have, and soon to be developed, there is a Lucero mud volcano, and that contract is due to be signed and awarded soon, where we are going to build a facility around a much lesser known volcano, but it is quite a wonder. We have the Lucero beach facility as well. We have Station Beach. I mean, the constituency is bordered by 2 coastlines. So it really, really is an amazing time. As I said, the constituency is blessed with rich natural resources, including the 2 coastlines with some of the best beaches and the best sailing. I should tell you that on the Western Beach facility, there is an amazing sailing club and sailing lessons, teaching that goes on through the Ministry of Sport and the southwestern peninsula of the Western Beach and of Clifton Hill Beach has some of the best sailing in all of Trinidad and Tobago. So, I mean, it's an amazing time to be an MP. It's an amazing place to be a member of parliament. There is so much to develop and to deliver along the people of the constituency of Laborie.
Well, Laborie deserves the best, and they are in fact getting one of the better ministers coming to Laborie, the next MP for Laborie, and it's a wrap. We are now going to go stateside. The current member of parliament for Point Fortin, Mr. Kennedy Richards, will be soon on. We want to hear him, and we will be back to you. It's a wrap for now.
I must do a roll call this evening. And we are here in the beautiful borough of Point Fortin. And I must welcome all of those who came from far and near, assembled here at the Point Fortin East Secondary School, formerly known as the Point Fortin College. Is Laborie in the house? I heard we have Faisabad. I heard we have Orput West. All right, you're not here tonight. Tabakit. All right. Point Fortin. All right. Let us wake up Point Fortin this evening. This sea of red here sends a bold message to the people who oppose us. Them pick up side who all over the place can't even fill a room like the People's National Movement. Prime Minister and Chairman of the party, the Honorable Stuart Young SC, who's on his way. The next Member of Parliament for Point Fortin, the Honorable Kennedy Richards Jr. The next Member of Parliament for Laborie, the Honorable Randall Mitchell. The next Member of Parliament for Moruga Tebalan, Lisa Atwater. Party officers, other members of cabinet here assembled, PNM people, good afternoon. I am here for a very important yet simple rule, to introduce your next speaker. The same way he does fly people in and out of Trinidad, he will fly out the UNC, he will fly out MEP outside of Point Fortin. The same way he is able to bring remedy for you here in Point Fortin, in your new hospital, your new highway, community center, road all over the place. He is Kennedy the remedy. I have had the privilege of working under the next speaker. And I can say to you that his heart is full of gold, that he has a heart for the development of Point Fortin, that no other person could try to come against the MP, Mr. Kennedy Richards Jr. They can say what they want. They can say what they want. The next speaker has performed well. He has performed diligently, and he's here to you for you to give him a next vote. Come April 28th, he will become your next MP. I welcome to you your next member of Parliament for Point Fortin, the Honourable Kennedy Richard.
Is there anybody in here from the constituency of Labre? Is there anybody in here from the constituency of Point Fortin? But most important, is there anybody in here from the People's National Movement? Are we ready and responsible? Allow me to recognize this evening our party chairman and Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Richard Young SC, who's on his way. My colleague and brother, the Honorable Randall Mitchell, candidate at the next Member of Parliament for Labre. Other members of the Cabinet, His Worship the Mayor, Alderman Clyde James, and members of the Point Fortin Borough Council, party officers, and permit me to stick it up in for Ms. June Yule Williams. Make some noise, people. Members of the media, PNM people, welcome to Point Fortin. How good and pleasant it is to see the PNM Army out here in its thousands. And I beg you, don't make too much noise before the fire services come here this afternoon. We are gathered here in what I call the peninsula of progress. Because we in the PNM distinguish ourselves from those pickup sides. And on every PNM platform, you are assured to be politically educated about serious matters of state and how our PNM government has defended our birthright today, yesterday, and tomorrow. Brothers and sisters, those that oppose us come before us only during election time to manipulate our young people with lies, deception, and hypocrisy. They are outright trying to make you believe that your PNM, and I pause to recognize, no? 1 minute. So brothers and sisters, those that oppose us come before us only during election time to manipulate our young people with lies, deception, and hypocrisy. They are outright trying to make you believe that your PNM government and your PNM Member of Parliament did nothing for you. But tonight, I want to send a message to the political pickup sides that our track record in Point Fortin speaks for itself. And I would like to ensure that our people remember what we have done, what we are doing, and what we will continue to do in this peninsula. I will go into detail of the many nothings that the PNM has done in Point Fortin. Nothing number one, education. My brothers and sisters, Point Fortin, compared to other areas in Trinidad and Tobago, can boast in less than 4 years, Fortin has received 4 brand new primary schools. In Fanny Village, the UNC left that school in ashes. And our children in Fanny Village, Hollywood, Captiville, and those areas, they only knew the community center to be their school. But under this caring PNM government and your PNM member of parliament, the people of Fanny Village received a brand new primary school, signed, sealed, and delivered at the cost of $37.5 million. We opened a brand new school in Chatham, expanding our classroom stock to accommodate a growing need for children to be in schools in our constituency, a project that was also abandoned by the UNC. As a representative, I represent all of the people in Point Fortin, people in Cedars, Bonas, Ikakas, Granville. And though we in the PNM are not favored in those areas, the PNM believes in representation for all people. And ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to stand as we celebrate, and we introduce, and we welcome our Prime Minister.
A man with energy, always checking for me. Don't let up at all, let's answer when we call.
With ear Gagoro, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young,
CRT. When I hear it, I didn't believe it. I went and checked it. They say he runs it.
We have a new leader, he's strong with real power. The best in Trinidad, tell them great faces so.
CRT. A man with energy, always checking for me. Don't let up at all, let's answer when we call. CRT.
With ear Gagoro, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young,
CRT. He's the future Prime Minister, with so much bigger, we can't get better.
The sector called energy, he rescued that for me. Then he fights for more money to put real billions in the treasury.
CRT. A man with energy, always checking for me. Don't let up at all, let's answer when we call. CRT.
With ear Gagoro, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young,
CRT. As an attorney, he covered TNT. Handle the demands, the country in good hands.
It will be there to show the economy will grow, negativity will go, better days for Trinidad.
A man with energy, always checking for me. Don't let up at all, let's answer when we call. CRT.
With ear Gagoro, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young,
CRT.
Let's come together and support our leader
so things could get better
with a brighter future.
Young and old that gather around, everywhere that he touched down. Effective leadership and glow. In TNT, we love him so.
A man with energy, always checking for me. Don't let up at all, let's answer when we call. CRT.
With ear Gagoro, he always vibrant and is strong, energetic and he young,
CRT. When I hear it, I didn't believe it. I went and checked it. They say he runs it.
We have a new leader, he's strong with real power. The best in Trinidad, tell them great faces so.
CRT. A man with energy, always checking for me.
Put your hands together one more time for the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw that the young army came behind the Prime Minister. So we must give him a Point Fortin welcome. Is there anybody in here from Point Fortin? As we go along, we were just speaking about being all in for everybody in Trinidad and Tobago. And that is why today, in Southern Central, we can boast of completing the Southern Central Anglican Primary School. That was a wooden structure, and for years the students, teachers and parents have been demanding a new school which was forgotten by the UNC. It took a PNM Member of Parliament and a PNM government to deliver to the people of Coromandel and Granville a spanking new Southern Central Anglican Primary School. But brothers and sisters, we did not stop there. Further in the peninsula, we saw the disarray in Bonus Anglican Primary School. And being a responsible representative that I am, I made a case for the people of Cedros. And today, the residents of Bonus, Fullerton and Bamboo can benefit with an improved investment in their area, the newly built Bonus Anglican Primary School. I must give thanks to my PNM government, the Minister of Education, the Honorable Nian Gadsby Dolly, for working with me to improve our educational infrastructure. When re-elected, I will be working to improve the Point Fortin Roman Catholic School, the Guapo Government Primary School, and this very school, the Point Fortin East Secondary School. But I am not stopping there. They say we ain't do nothing. Well, I am moving on to nothing number 2, youth development. See, friends, their idea of youth development is to have a catch and rescue competition on Facebook. Their idea of youth development is to give young black boys $200 and $500 to do Facebook videos to cost the PNM. Their idea of youth development is to use influencers and pay them $40,000. I know if they get the $40,000, right? But some of them can't even identify their names on a paper, but telling you and I that yellow is the code, and we suffering. That is their idea of youth engagement and development. But in the PNM and in Point Fortin, youth development is about making our youth recognize their talents and supporting them to become the best that they can be and to become responsible citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. As a responsible member of Parliament, I campaigned in 2020 and gave you, the people of Point Fortin, an undertaking that we will reopen the Chatham Youth Camp. And it was a UNC government, lest we forget, it was a UNC government that shut down every youth program in Trinidad and Tobago, closed up the Chatham Youth Camp, denying hundreds of young people an opportunity to be trained, supported, and mentored. One of the reasons why some of our young people may be involved in deviant activities is because they are not properly guided in their homes, sometimes in the communities. And you need safe spaces like the youth camp set up to provide that much needed guidance and support system so that they can become responsible young people. The UNC don't have time for that. But came in the PNM, came Kennedy Richards, and the Honorable Foster Cummins. And today, the youth camp, which shall be now known as the Chatham Youth Development Apprenticeship Center is 80% complete. You can go and see the extensive work taking place down there to improve the facility. And I am advised by the Minister of Youth Development and National Service that the center will be improved and expanded, and expand the training and mentorship that will provide. Once open, there will be an intake of 250 trainees yearly, and the center will be working in conjunction with NESC and MIC to provide comprehensive 21st vocational training so that our young people can become employable and entrepreneurial. I realize how the UNC is trying to play with some of our people's ignorance, saying that there's no youth programs in Point Fortin. But tonight I tell them, the two lied and wicked. I would not allow them to get political amnesia by the blue and yellow poison. But I will remind you that it was the UNC who said you didn't deserve opportunities, and they shut down the NESC campus in Mahaika. And the young people had to go to Cuba and Princeton to be trained by the NESC. But my friends, in came the People's National Movement, whose policy understands that if we don't empower the youth, then we do not empower our nation. They saw the state of that facility, and today we are transforming that facility into a youth development center in Mahaika. And that, is, my friends, is 100% completed. Those youth development centers shall become youth empowerment hubs in our community for training of all kinds to be delivered to institutions like YTEP, UTT, UE, NESC, and so much more under one roof. So you want to do a short course in psychology? You can go to YDC. You want to do a short course in barbering and hairdressing? You can go to YDC. You want to do events management? You can go to YDC. You want to learn about food processing? You can go to YDC. You want to get any opportunity? You can go to YDC right here in Mahaika in Point Fortin, ladies and gentlemen. These opportunities are endless. And the Youth Development Center will also provide safe spaces for youth organizations like our police youth clubs, or youth groups like No Youth Left Behind can call YDC their home, as it will become a beacon of youth development in Point Fortin and environs. Young people, as your member of parliament, I know you have studied hard and you have achieved your qualifications in your respective fields. And for some of you, you are looking out for jobs in your field. For the last 3 years, I've hosted job and career markets right in the Southwest Indoor Arena, bringing professionals, companies, and agencies from all over the country on board to engage with your qualifications and for you to network with them. Over 2,100 young people have engaged and benefited from these career markets that I have hosted. I know how frustrating it can be to secure employment, especially in your specific line, in your profession, being that it may be saturated. But I encourage you to work with me, and I give you the undertaking that when re-elected, I will champion the establishment of a Point Fortin Young Professionals Association, where young professionals can join and use that opportunity to network with professionals across the nation, region, and the world. And this association will support, with my support, will advocate for you to be involved, aware, and engage with many opportunities for employment, training, development, business creation, and so much more. This takes me to note number 3, physical infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, to those manipulators and deceivers trying to stir up unadulterated anger and hate against the PNM, And I, as your MP, have neglected you with roads and physical infrastructure. An article came out the other day where I shared that over 200 million was spent on the roads within the Point Fortin constituency over the last 5 years. And they tried to kill me. But unlike them, I do not have to lie or deceive you. The proof is in the level of delivery, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, more work needs to be done. Yes, more roads over time will be maintained. But in governance, everything cannot be done at the same time. There's limited resources. That must be shared across the nation. We have 41 constituencies and 14 municipal corporations, all fighting for the same thing. And good governance is ensuring that all are able to benefit from the same pie. But in Point Fortin, within the last 5 years, our road network has increased exponentially in all of its existence. And I want to list all the work that was done by me as a member of parliament and my PNM government. The Point Fortin Highway that brought you from Vancouver to Dunlop. And I ain't talking about the whole thing. I'm not talking about the whole thing. I'm talking about from roundabout to roundabout. Package 5C. Cost this PNM government, this responsible PNM government, $235 million. And that is more than $200 million. Gone are the days where coming in and out of Point Fortin was a task. I am certain that everybody here tonight travels to San Fernando and back very easily. And for that simple reason, we can say great is the PNM. Today, you went and out of Point Fortin in 15 minutes. We resurfaced Warden Road, 3.2 million. E Street, G Street, 8th Street, PNM Bella 2. Porto Grande Road, Richardson Street, PNM. Jackson Trace, PNM. The Central Main Road to Ikakas, PNM. The Chatham landslip for $25 million is PNM. The Coromona landslip rehabilitation run, PNM. The Cochrane landslip is PNM. The Cedars landslip is PNM builder. The Red Road landslip is in PNM. The paving of Captiville to the junction is PNM. The Grappa River Road, so it's PNM. The number 8 connector road to the highway, the PNM billet. Full Cup 1 and 2, PNM billet. All in this year. Hawk Avenue, Spring Trace, T-Shea, Erin, Cemetery Road, PNM. As the saying goes, ladies and gentlemen, the party now starts. And come the 29th, the PNM will be doing more in the constituency at Point Fortin. I take it to that the Northern Nothing. In sport and community development, Point Fortin remains a shining light in this arena. The people of Point Fortin, was there any Maika over under the UNC? Or let's talk like you're in short. Was there any Maika over under the UNC? You know something like you're sure. Was there any T-Shea Community Center under the UNC? I ain't hear India. Was there any T-Shea Community Center over the UNC? Was there any Coronation Park development under the UNC? Somebody said was there any fire station under the UNC? Oh, let's tell them. Oh, let's tell them. Was there any Buenos Aires Community Center under the UNC? And I go say no. I can say no too. It is because we believe in the PNM that you deserve it, that you have it now. And the UNC outside there telling people that the PNM did nothing. If it's one thing about me, ladies and gentlemen, I will not sit down in a position just for sitting down in a position's sake. Right? I always on the move. We go in there, you hold on, we go in there. $1.2 billion, we go in there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to see that the Maika Sporting Complex finally being delivered to the people of Point Fortin. For the first time in years, We can see the return of professional football leagues across Trinidad and Tobago and the region at the historic Oval. Our churches, schools, community groups now have a modern facility to host their sports day and competitions. In culture, and before we move into culture, ladies and gentlemen, before we move into culture, over the last 2 years, some of you all here may not know, it was Minister Young, as the Minister of Energy, who ensured that Fortin Civic Center football team had a sponsorship to the tune of $2.5 million. And we had a club like that. In culture, as the Borough Festival intensifies, we have countless promoters and organizers are now utilizing the sport complex as a preferred venue to host their events, making the Mahaika Sports Complex an example of real people empowerment and community development in action under the hands of the People's National Movement. I moved to Coronation Park, ladies and gentlemen. I'm 38 years old. But in 2010, they were saying 40 years ago, we promised Coronation Park. And before I dive into that, it was Minister Young who ensured that Coronation Park is started. And we are in progress as we speak. And I know on the 28th, we will defend Coronation Park and this progress in Point Fortin. The Coronation Park is being redeveloped into 2 phases by UDCOT. Phase 1 is currently underway with the establishment of a brand new Coronation Park Sports Complex, which will include an 8-lane Mondo track, and the Mondo track will be red, white, and black for national unity. This facility will provide the first-rate training for groups such as Civic Center Jets, Point Fortin New Jets, and the creation of more Point Fortin-born athletes like Dream Richards, you have Marshall Sideno, you have Justin Maloney, and you have others who would have come before, Alvin Daniel. When I'm re-elected and we complete phase 1, we'll move on to phase 2, which will see the refurbishment of the indoor arena, the sporting club, the tennis center, lights at the tennis center, and more external parking in the Coronation Park. Point people, ask those pretenders who want to deceive you again for your vote, what have they done to represent you? Where were they in the last 10 years? They only appear when it's election time. One come from St. Joseph, former point man. Well, one come from St. Joseph, saying he knows your problems. Respect. I respect the gentleman, but he come all the way from St. Joseph to Point Fortin. Next one playing political hopscotch. 1 minute in the MSG, 1 minute in the Independent, 1 minute in the UNC. But if you know me well, you know that I'm a very respectable young man. And I don't carry bacchanal and confusion in my politics. And I will not do that. But tonight, when they were a part of the partnership in 2010, and a certain minister come down to Point Fortin and say, if all vote for the PNM, we will get nothing. So I didn't call his name. You see why I don't call? I didn't call his name. But I am saying to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, go to Mahaika, take a look at the Civic Center. It was in progress when the PNM government was in power. And today, when the UNC took over from 2010 to 2015, it is in court. That is what happens when we take God out of our thought and vote out a PNM, vote out PNM out of the government. Keep that in mind. My friend, who's at MSJ, UNC at the same time. I don't know how we balancing it. Cool fella, we cool? He cool, I cool, we cool. But you know that I am PNM. In 2013, it was the same UNC who fired him from Trinidad. And then in 2016, it was the PNM who hired him back there. Being called no names, but all you know what I'm talking about. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the same way I just fly people out and in this country, I will fly the politics in Point Fortin come the 28th of April. This address, my friends, tonight only outlines on the surface the type of representation that I have provided for the last 5 years, and the type of good governance that we had under the People's National Movement. You have experienced since 2015. And as the campaign intensifies, I will share with you what was done in community by community. I will even break it down to polling division by polling division, because all 50 polling divisions was touched by the People's National Movement. But I must make some special mentions of what we have done and what we are doing in the furtherance of your development. 1, the establishment of the Point Fortin Heritage Administrative Complex. You know, I know catch it myself. You know, Stuart Young put that project in place again too. I gotta watch myself in Point Fortin, boy. I have been able to successfully lobby the establishment of what I call a government one-stop shop. Government is investing over $50 million to reconfigure the old Petrotrin administrative building into an administrative complex. I'd like to thank our Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young, who made it his duty to visit with me back in 2022 when he was the Minister of Energy, along with the Chairman of Heritage. And in short order thereafter, we ensured that that building was fit for purpose. In one place, you can get passport, license, birth paper, pay public utilities, essentially freeing up all these spaces. And we're not going back to that 2-week birth paper thing in Point Fortin. We passed that stage. We're going to Sando. We want 1-day birth paper in Point Fortin. The Adopt a Child School Initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, this project of mine is very close to my heart, because for the last 4 years, with the support of you, the people at Point Fortin, and across the nation that believe to Adopt a Child initiative, and today, approximately $1 million have been spent through fundraisers, donations, and contributions over the last 4 years, providing school books, stationery, and support to over 700 children, impacting more than 1,500 families across Point Fortin. Water supply. Water supplies has improved significantly under my tenure as Member of Parliament. Some areas for the first time now have a regular supply of water, with the then Minister of Public Utilities, Barvin Gonzalez, playing a pivotal role in this achievement. We just turned the sod for the establishment of the Chatham Water Treatment Plant, which will enhance the delivery of water in the peninsula and here in Point Fortin. All major recreation grounds and sporting facilities are now fully lit, from Gonzales to Cedros, delivery PNM style. And let us not forget the pride of Point Fortin, our brand new Point Fortin Hospital. I tell you, I'm coming. With our healthcare professionals providing human and quality service delivered by the People's National Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, people of Point Fortin, on election day, the choice is pellucidly clear. Let us not regress and put those irresponsible agents of chaos into the corridors of power again. We have seen improvement. We have seen good governance. We have seen vision exemplified into the caring hands of the People's National Movement. And if we take God off our thoughts and put those wimps, pimps, and pimps into government, all this progress that I speak of will no longer be afforded to you. And if you read the papers today, you heard what will happen to the San Fernando waterfront. The nothing that they speak about will be clearly true. But I am confident that the people of Point Fortin are responsible. I am confident that the people of Point Fortin are right-thinking citizens and will choose a steady, stable, and sober leader in the likes of Stuart Young, SC. The comparison, or the comparisons, or the alternatives are all disoriented. And I know you, the people of Point Fortin, and the people at Library, will choose representation that works for you, not those that try to embarrass you, or manipulate you, or spread hate, and sow seeds of discord among us. But I understand my opponents. They are frustrated because they have been diagnosed with political impotence. For some time, they are angry and they are tired of their political stagnancy. But when you come against the PNM in Point Fortin, we will give you a political rest. And ladies and gentlemen, when all is said and done, and when all those ballot boxes are counted, and one before the stroke of midnight, Point Fortin shall be the first seat to be declared PNM, PNM, PNM. And it is then we shall know that Trinidad and Tobago has been returned to the safe hands of the PNM, ready for the next chapter under Prime Minister Stuart Young. And we shall all gather right in Market Square, right behind the market, right in the PNM office, and declare that great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we have prevailed. I thank you.
We're coming, PNM, PNM. PNM, PNM.
As you know, in the PNM, ladies and gentlemen, we have many good speakers. And next up is our candidate from Moruga. And we say, South is love. We say, Lisa, Lisa, life is better without water. That's it. So let's hear Lisa, 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 Lisa. And we bring Lisa and water to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, from Moruga.
I hear everybody shouting, we voting for Lisa in Moruga Tableland. She is a daughter of the soil. She knows how to pray and toil. So we coming out on election day to put we as by the Balize. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who we gonna vote for? Lisa, Lisa, we better with that water. 5, 6, 7, 8. Who is the winning candidate? Lisa, Lisa, we better with that water.
Aye. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my fellow candidate. The chairman of our great party, Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young, SC, honorable members of Parliament, fellow candidates, loyal members of the People's National Movement, members of the media, and most importantly, my friends, my neighbors, my community of support, the proud people of Point Fortin, Labre and environs, and definitely Moruga Tableland. Good evening. I stand before you tonight, humbled, honored, and driven by a purpose greater than myself. When I was asked to speak, I said, Point, yeah, I could do that. Yes, I can do that because I thought immediately of the fact that your former MP, the Honorable Paula Gopi-Schoon, has been a champion for Moruga Tableland. She has been a tower of support for me and for this campaign. So yes, I'd turn up in Point and I'd have a conversation because this campaign is important. This campaign is not just about politics, it's about people, it's about possibility, and it's certainly about progress. And make no mistake, this is serious work. We in Moruga Tableland have been toiling, we have been walking, we have been working since the 26th of September. And as I was telling Minister recently, we'd stop work. I will stop work around 5:30 p.m. on Monday, the 28th of April. Because this is about the future of Trinidad and Tobago. And your presence here tonight certainly signals that you are invested in this great movement. You are invested in our future, and you are invested in good governance. Clearly, you have the vision that People's National Movement is the way to go. People's National Movement has to continue in office. And we in the People's National Movement have always been about building this nation. We've done it in the past, we are doing it presently, and we will continue with your support to do it in the future. So we cannot rest, and we cannot slow down, because we are about to write a new chapter together. Are you ready? Are you ready? Point Fortin, are you ready? Moruga Tableland, are you ready? I am certainly ready. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a product of People's National Movement policy. I am a school teacher. I got my education under the People's National Movement. I started my career on the 24th of May, 1994. So next month, when the 24th of May rolls around, when the 24th of May rolls around, I will be in Parliament. Having given 30 years and 11 months of my life to Moruga Secondary School, Teaching has been my calling. I have mentored many young minds, and that is my pride. And that is what service is about. And it's through that same spirit that I stand here today, not just as a teacher, but as a servant of the people. Teaching is about investing in others, and so is leadership. And no other party understands that philosophy more than the People's National Movement. So what better party to serve the people than the PNM? Let us ensure that when this election is done, that both Point Fortin, Labre, San Fernando East, San Fernando West, Moruga Tableland, and so many more seats. All 41 seats, and my school says we believe in hope. So we believe in hope that we will all be under the banner of the People's National Movement, and that I expect that constituencies that are rural like ours will continue to have better foundation, and that we will be respected and continue to be prioritized. So I thank the People's National Movement, our great government, for all that they have done, and I know we will continue to build on it. And I like to call myself a child of the community. I wear my heritage on my sleeve. And as a sixth-generation American, I really know what community means. Community service has been my life. That's why I have chosen to offer myself to serve at an even greater level. Not for status, not for applause, but to give back to the place and the people who shaped me. To work with you, to work besides you, and to write the next chapter together. So what are my plans for Moruga Tableland? It is my hope that we will have enhanced opportunities for youth development. Our youth population is our greatest asset and the key to unlocking national growth and progress. For the best possible future, I am committed to the creation of programs and policies that will promote youth development and empower them to participate in all national conversations. I expect to be part of the process of the growth of local employment and increased business ownership, entrepreneurship, and self-sufficiency in Moruga Tableland. I am committed to creating opportunities for our people to gain successful, secure employment, to be productive, and to own businesses that will benefit our community, our nation, and regionally. Of course, I love to see the expansion of agricultural production and capacity building for the processing of fish and agricultural products. And I've repeatedly said that we have enough to feed ourselves. Our community has a rich legacy of agriculture, farming, fishing, and food production. And it is my hope that I will be able to partner with all of Moruga Tableland to ensure that these avenues are fulfilled. In the case of tourism, I would like to see that we practice sustainable tourism. Our community is an ideal destination for ecotourism. I am committed to exploring avenues that will promote sites of interest and to market our rich cultural heritage. And as a teacher, I certainly want to see our young ladies, that's my baby, I really want to see our young ladies become more independent. Our young ladies must be able to take care of themselves. As a woman born and raised in this community, I believe in the advancement of women, and as such, I intend to pay extra attention to ensure that our women continue to stand their own. We in here are all familiar with the fact that we've had great mothers who made tremendous sacrifices to ensure that we reach this stage. And as Member of Parliament for Moruga Tableland, I want to see our young ladies go even further. So what are we going to do in the next 20 days? We have to show up. We have to organize. We have to energize. We have to mobilize. And we have to go out and vote. And keep in mind that there will be detractors who will ask, so what PNM do? And when they ask, point them to the roads, point them to Point Hospital, point them to the agri-processing plant, point them to the sports facility and the fishing depot, point them to GATE, point them to the numerous youth programs that are available. Point them, point them, point them, because these aren't just promises. These are results delivered by the People's National Movement. And that's the difference. That is People's National Movement commitment. So I call on you, on all of you, to make the next 20 days count. Walk with your neighbors. Walk with your candidates. Talk to your friends. Visit your elders. Talk to our youth and preach to every household. Because this election is not just about being red, blue, or anything else. This election is about Trinidad and Tobago. And there's only one way forward. You have to vote for the People's National Movement. Vote for a PNM that is interested in investing in your child's future. Vote for stability. Vote for strength. And let it be very clear that no matter of your age, gender, background, this is the movement for you. People's National Movement is for all of Trinidad and Tobago. And your voice matters. Your effort matters. So let's get to work. Let's find every voter. Let's bring them with us. Because together we can, and together we win. So to every PNM member, every PNM family member here tonight, I thank you. I thank you to those who have given their times, their ideas, their sweat, their tears. A special thank you to the foot soldiers. Our foot soldiers continue to sustain us. Our foot soldiers continue to turn up. Our foot soldiers continue to walk every single day. Our foot soldiers putting up banners. Our foot soldiers canvassing. Our foot soldiers taking booth. Our foot soldiers say, come on, miss, we still going there. Our foot soldiers saying, we had to do it. Our foot soldiers saying, you're tired, but come on. My foot soldiers has bring food for me every evening. My foot soldiers just turn up with coconut water. My foot soldiers just walk with 2 Panadol. My foot soldiers had sweet oil for me when I lost my voice after nomination last Friday. My foot soldiers present. So I thank you. I thank you. Let us keep reaching. Let us keep delivering. Let us keep the message of service alive. Let's keep growing. Let's keep pressing to progress. I thank my family for standing with me. My mother is here tonight. Today is her birthday. And I told her, I said, woman, we will have a double celebration after the 28th of April. I thank my church for standing with me. I thank my staff for standing with me. I thank all the students who came out and defended me last week when people attempted to assassinate me. When that video hit viral, and I never taught the individual, never had an interaction, never, I said to myself, my God, they want to damage my campaign. And then I started to see my children come out in their numbers. My children defended me. And I've repeatedly said that my children are going to save me and make sure that we are victorious. I thank them. I thank the People's National Movement leadership for believing in me. I thank my church. And above all, I give thanks to God Almighty. Because without Him, none of this would have been possible. So I repeatedly say, but God, but God, but God. So I ask you all, mark your calendars. We are 20 days away. Monday, the 28th of April is fast approaching. That's the day we decide our future. That's the day we step forward with confidence. And when the ballots are counted, and the people have spoken, we will again gather and declare, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
I hear everybody shouting, we voting for Lisa in Moruga Tableland. She is a daughter of the soil, she knows how to pray and toil. So we coming out on election day to put we as by the valley day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lisa, we better with that water. 5, 6, 7, 8, who is the winning candidate? Lisa, we better with that water.
So I close by saying, thank you to Point Fortin. Thank you to the neighboring constituencies. Thank you to Moruga Tableland. We are ready. We are ready and we are responsible. I thank you.
Yeah, we are ready. We are ready and we are responsible. So tonight, we have the Young Army. The Young Army is tonight. I want to hear Young Army make some noise. Moruga, make some noise. Point Fortin, make some noise. But now, we are going to our brother's place. We are going to a place where it's very next and very close to Point Fortin. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I say Labre. Is there anybody from Labre? Is Labre in the house? And this is Labre's choice. Is Mitchell's. Labre's choices. Labre's choices. And tonight I introduce to you your next member of parliament for Labre, Mr. Randall Mitchell.
I come from when ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground used to carry it. We used to carry down there by Westmoreland.
Good evening, Point Fortin. Life is better with Atwater in Moruga Tableland. Kennedy is the remedy for the constituency of Point Fortin. Point Fortin, how are you feeling this evening? Look at people. So I ask again, are you ready and responsible? Are we ready to reject the yellow and blue and stand firm for all that is true? Are we ready to reject the yellow and blue and stand with the PNM who always stands with you? Allow me to acknowledge Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Stuart Young, Senior Counsel, the man who leads the next chapter for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it is obvious. Can you picture the young, the strong, the vibrant Stuart Young next to Kamla Prasad Bisesa? I acknowledge His Worship the Mayor of the Borough of Point Fortin, all my cabinet colleagues, my Member of Parliament for Point Fortin and my brother Kennedy Richards, executive members of the People's National Movement and executive members for the constituency of Point Fortin and the constituency of Labre, all my fellow candidates in this very important election, and you PNM people and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago viewing on our live streaming platforms and on television and on the radio. Ladies and gentlemen, many of you may know, but many of you may not know, but Point Fortin is a place that I call home. I lived here for about 6 years, 6 very formative years, and this southwestern part of Trinidad has shaped who I am today. I have traversed these streets in Clifton Hill, in Tisha, in Harriman Park, in Fanny Village. I have played football in Mahaika Oval. And I want to today extend gratitude, at least from the people of my generation, for the work that Kennedy Richards has done and the People's National Movement to refurbish the Mahaika Oval. I played on it. It was a decent ground, not as good as it is now. The knees are so good, I can't play again. But today, my son, as he did a few weeks ago, can journey to Point Fortin with his club and run track on a very excellent facility in Point Fortin. I am the product of Victor Mitchell, my father, and your former mayor in the borough of Point Fortin. And I am the product of Valerie Mitchell, my mother, a lifelong educator spent for the most part at the Separia Senior Comprehensive School. And they have both shaped and instilled in me a culture of public service. But point Fortin, I am to tell you today that I have a new home. A new home in the constituency of Labre. Anybody from Labre here? Palo Seco, Santa Flora, Vance River, Cochrane, Los Bajos, Rancho Quemado, Erin. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and a privilege to be selected as your standard bearer for the constituency of Labre. And I must report to you, to everybody in here, that since being selected, I have been warmly embraced by the executive, the PNM members, and by all of the residents in the constituency of Labre that we walk and we greet as we campaign in these elections on April 28, 2025. And on that note, I wish to extend on my behalf, on behalf of the executive and the members and the people of the Labre constituency, our heartfelt gratitude to our former Member of Parliament, Mr. Stephen McClatchy, and we applaud him for his commitment to public service and his commitment to the people of Labre. Ladies and gentlemen, the communities in the constituency of Labre, Brighton, Santa Flora, Palo Seco, have all played key roles in the development of the energy story in Trinidad and Tobago. But ladies and gentlemen, you know now is election time. And when it's election time, all kind of Zando leaders crawl out of the hole. So we have Zandoli, who I call the yellow is the code for the confused and the corrupt crew. We have, ladies and gentlemen, you know they have swizzle stick on the people computer trying to tell you what is best for your children. They have somebody named Matara French who trying to tell you without the use of expletives who you should vote for your future in the next general election. But talking about Zandoli, there are three misfits, three vagabonds and ragamuffins loitering about the place in this southwestern peninsula. One name is Elder, one name is Kiza, and the leader loiterer name is Roger. And they're walking up and down the place making video, telling you and telling your children that the PNM never do nothing for nobody. Well, Kennedy dealt with that in the constituency of Point Fortin. But they are hoping that you have very, very, very short memory. But the story, the energy story, and the story of industrial development in Trinidad and Tobago is a story of Labre. And it is a story of the People's National Movement. For those of you who may have forgotten, when you drive by the Union Industrial Estate, or when you drive by the Labre Industrial Estate, and you see all them plants, you see all these roads, you see these big smokestacks, all of those things were developed by the People's National Movement governments. For the people of Labre and for the people in the Southwestern Peninsula. And that is the evidence. That, if nothing else, is the evidence of the vision and the commitment to the people of Labre, to the people of Point Fortin, and for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. It was the PNM who delivered to Labre the largest power plant in the region, the TGU. It is the PNM that did that. It was the PNM that built a 56 cross-country pipeline that feeds that same TGU plant, as well as all of those other plants and industries on those estates. It was the PNM that did that to secure our energy future. It was the PNM that delivered the deep water port in Brighton so that our energy may be traded, or that we have access to further develop our energy and our industrial sector. Ladies and gentlemen, it was the PNM in 2004 who had the vision to build a world-class fabrication yard and dock right in Labre. It was the PNM that did that. That is now operated by TOFCO. And for the first time, the people in the Southwestern Peninsula, our welders, our fabricators, were building our energy future on our own soil right here in Labre. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, it was the same Roger, the same lead loiterer, the same ragamuffin, the same person who cussed Kamla and now hugging up Kamla. It was him, same one who asking for your vote now, who in 2013, when BP was committing to invest in building and installation, 2016, when BP was interested in putting and creating building and installation right in Labre for the people of the Southwestern Peninsula to get jobs, tens of millions of US dollars to be paid for that work. It was the same Roger who told them to pick up your rig and go. They didn't have the best interest of the people of Labre and the people in the Southwestern Peninsula at heart. But they're asking for your vote now. They come in and they're asking for your vote now. Tens of millions of US dollars gone. That could have developed families. It could have developed small businesses. It could have developed the local economy in the Southwestern Peninsula. But selfishness and arrogance, pick up your rig and go. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer you a bit of advice today. When you see them, when they come by you, when they ask you for your vote, I want you to tell them, pick up themselves and pick up Kamala too and go. They do not have the best interest of the people of Labre and the people of Point Fortin at heart. The one time Kamala Prasad Bisesa went down to Labre was to turn the sod for the CGCL plant. And it took Minister of Energy, Stuart Young, Prime Minister now, to journey all the way to Japan to renegotiate that so that the country, you, the citizens of the country, and your children do not lose billions of dollars. That is Kamala Prasad Bisesa's legacy in the Southwestern Peninsula. It is Minister Young and former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley who has always stood with the people of Labre. We can't count how many times they have journeyed to visit that Tofco yard to ensure that business is coming to the Labre constituency and to the Point Fortin constituency, to the Southwestern Peninsula, to ensure that our people have jobs, to ensure that we have a revenue earning capacity. It is Minister Young and it is former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley who stood with us and who stood with the people in the Southwestern Peninsula, not them. Over the past 5 years, the PNM has also delivered through the current MP, Stephen McClatchy, greater water delivery for the people of Carapal. In a Carapal Wells project that now supplies over 340,000 gallons of water to 20,000 residents. And water now flows abundantly 3 times a week. The PNM also delivered the newly commissioned Labre Community Center in Labre, a brand new community center for the people of Labre and environs to come together as a community, to build a community, to have weddings, to have birthday parties, to have meetings, to secure the future as a community of the people of Labre. And the new Youth Skills Training Center at Palo Seco and Los Bajo, and a technical training skills center in Santa Flora was also delivered by the PNM to this constituency. But ladies and gentlemen, I say on this platform, and I'm saying it in big, Labre deserves more. Labre deserves more. And I pledge to continue to deliver for the residents of Labre, the constituency of Labre, to build on the infrastructure, the physical infrastructure, to continue to deliver improved facilities, such as we're getting a brand new Palo Seco velodrome, which you all know, and which I know, was the premier sporting facility in the entire country at one point in time. And very soon, it will again be the premier sporting facility in Trinidad and Tobago. We have a very young demographic, a lot of young people in the constituency of Labre. And I commit and I pledge to you today, ladies and gentlemen, to improve on the access to many of our government programs targeted to the young people through Minister Foster Cummings and the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, through the brand new skills training centers that we have received within the constituency of Labray. But ladies and gentlemen, I have to take a little bit of time to talk to you about my substantive portfolio, which is Minister of Tourism, Culture and the Arts. And what we have done over the 5 years to progress the sectors of tourism, the sector of culture and the arts. And tourism is a very important sector. A very important sector. It is a part of the productive sector in Trinidad and Tobago and plays a really significant role in diversifying and expanding our economy. Our tourism sector, our culture and arts sectors was significantly, severely and devastatingly hit through the COVID pandemic. But during that pandemic, it is this caring PNM government that delivered over $25 million in COVID relief grants to all our entertainers and to all our cultural workers. A caring PNM government did that during the pandemic. And I pause for a cause to tell you, with the driver of PDN 6926, please attend to your vehicle immediately, or someone else would attend to it for you. I have always wanted to give that announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, following that, it was our government's position that we needed to get workers back out to work quickly, into productive work and into the earning capacity. And in that regard, we did a lot for our entertainers to be able to travel to the US, to be able to get their visas, to be able to earn in the US, where they had opened up their borders and they had opened up their activities so that our entertainers could have earned. We also very quickly received entreaties from Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, and we signed an MOU with them to get our Trinbago nationals out on Royal Caribbean cruise ships to earn significant monies. The lowest paid for the unskilled, $900 US per month, and at the very top, which we have delivered, officers and doctors earning significantly more US. And we have done that, and we have assisted 1,000 people in getting jobs on these cruise lines. And they so love Trinidadian and Tobagonian people, they keep coming back. And Disney Cruise Lines and MSC Cruise Lines, they all come back. In our cruise industry, we have done a lot of work to ensure that cruise lines come here to the port of Port of Spain. And the more cruise lines come, the more people that come to our shores, is the more money we make in the country. Every cruise visitor spends on average $50 US, and every crew member spends on average $26 US. That means our vendors, our taxi drivers, our tour operators all earn significant foreign exchange during the visits of these cruise ships. We have also done a lot to build airlift. We saw the return of KLM Airlines. We saw the return of Liat. Caribbean Airlines now flies to many more destinations in the English, Dutch, and French-speaking Caribbean. And that gives us more access to a lot of destinations, but it also gives the people of those destinations greater access to experience our tourism product. In our accommodation sector, in our hotel sector, we have done a lot to develop hotels. And you see hotels, as Minister Young has said, in the Sandals example, a hotel is like a small little economic engine. A hotel where you stay, we have visitors stay at the hotels, and when you stay at a hotel, the government receives hotel tax, the government receives value-added tax. But also, those hotels, to feed and entertain and to maintain their properties, they need to hire our workers. They need to buy our agricultural produce. They need to buy our manufactured goods. And we have done a lot. We have produced, we have developed, we have assisted in the development of the bricks, the Asa Wright Center, the Grand Revere Hotel. We have done a lot, and there are currently at least 2 hotels under construction, and we are doing a lot to develop the hotel sector as it relates to the accommodation sector. Ladies and gentlemen, I am certain that you all would agree with me, and we're turning to culture now, that this Carnival 2025 was the best Carnival 2025. And not only does Carnival give us an opportunity to Lego and release, gives us the opportunity to practice our culture and our cultural heritage. But Carnival is a serious and significant economic earning festival. And you heard Minister Young in one of his pronouncements, manifesto promises to develop the Arts, Culture and Innovation Council. And I agree with that because it has a massive earning potential, this Carnival. And there is no better people to assist and to chart the development of our cultural sector than the stakeholders themselves and the people who practice it. Not the government, not the minister. It is the people who practice in these areas, the people who have skin in the game. They are the best persons to do it. So in terms of our Carnival statistics, I can quickly tell you, because I'm running out of time, that this Carnival, over the 19 days prior to Carnival Tuesday, so in 19 days prior to Carnival Tuesday, we received approximately 42,000 visitors to Trinidad and Tobago. 42,000 visitors to Trinidad and Tobago in a small window. And of those persons who came here, the average visitor expenditure per person was $15,336 per person. So just taking visitor spend alone, we earned in this country close to $660 million during the Carnival period. And that does not take into consideration what you spend to go to parties. It just takes into consideration what the visitors spend to go to parties. It doesn't take into consideration what the corporate sponsors put into the development. It doesn't take those things into consideration. So you can see that the Carnival, our festival, our world-renowned Carnival, is a massive economic juggernaut. It is a powerhouse that we must continue to develop. And ladies and gentlemen, the steel pan. Over the last few years, this PNM government has done a lot to stand side by side with the steel pan movement, to develop the steel pan, to push the steel pan, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but regionally and internationally. We went to the United Nations, and we got the United Nations to agree on World Steel Pan Day, August the 11th, every single year. And we don't just celebrate that in Trinidad and Tobago, we celebrate that in all the places where we have our diaspora, and in some places like South Africa where we don't. We celebrate it in Japan, It is celebrated in London, it is celebrated in Miami, it is celebrated in New York, it is celebrated in Canada, it is celebrated up the islands, World Steel Pan Day. It is this PNM government, through the assistance of Stuart Young, in assisting in developing the legislation, who went to Parliament to declare the steel pan the national musical instrument of Trinidad and Tobago. Placing the steel pan developed in very, very difficult areas in East Port of Spain, placing it at the forefront of our national pride. And there are many other things that we did. We were able to accomplish intellectual property with a geographical indicator with the steel pan. This PNM government stood by the steel pan movement, walked hand in hand with them, and developed the steel pan movement. And I'm very proud to say, in Labre, Nightingales, we placed fourth in the panorama, fourth in the medium panorama. And I'm very proud, and I look forward to working with Labre Nightingales and developing that steel pan, that steel band. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to say, the PNM has always stood by you. The PNM has always stood up for you. Always stood up for you, including that man in white. The PNM has been able to develop the constituency of Labre and the constituency of Point Fortin. And this industrial development is our heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamla Prasad Bisesa has been walking up and down and promising you to reduce taxes and promising you to spend all the money on all your problems. And nobody has been able to successfully ask her where you're going to get the money from. And I call upon the media today, ask Mrs. Prasad Bisesa where you're going to get the money from. Because we know her by her past deeds. In 2014 and in 2015, when the oil price and our revenues plummeted, they went to NGC and they raided NGC and corruptly squandered the money wastefully all over the country. So I am telling you today, you in the Southwestern Peninsula, in the Labre constituency and in the Point Fortin constituency, she can't tell you where she get the money from. But I bet you she will raid Heritage Petroleum. She will raid the NGC. She will raid NEC. All companies situated in our constituencies and all companies that we have an interest in. Do not let her raid our heritage. Do not let her do that. So, come this election, we do not ask you only for your vote, we ask you for your continued partnership. We ask you to help us build a Labre, build a Point Fortin that we and your children, my children, can be proud of. The story of Labre and the story of Point Fortin is the story of the PNM. So on that day, April 28th, when you wake up in the morning, you say your prayers, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you put on your clothes, you go to your polling division, your polling station, and you rest the vote solidly behind the People's National Movement. And on the evening of April 28th, we will all say, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
I come from when we used to carry it, we used to carry it when it ground, we used to carry it, we used to carry it when it ground, we used to carry it, we used to carry it when it ground, we used to carry it, we used to carry it when a Rima had it, Machurita had it, Santa Rosa had it, Donyaruka had it,
Let's hear it again for the Honorable Randall Mitchell. We can do better than that, point Fortin. And tonight, I would like to recognize every candidate. I saw a few outside. Maybe if you could just come inside and just wave to the crowd and show them that you are here in Point Fortin. So all candidates stand up, and so we have the superior candidate here, Dr. Mohammed. We have Sean Dubé here. I'll give them a better Point Fortin welcome than that. All candidates. We have Tabakit in the house. Point Fortin, all these people here, sure we're not getting tired. We have Tabakit in the house. That's more like it. So our next speaker needs no long introduction. He has fought for us on many different fronts, both in the country, both out of the country, and he has brought us great success here in Trinidad and Tobago. And tonight, people of Point Fortin, I'll welcome you, the man who leads the Young's Army, the man who leads our country, the chairman of our political party, the Honorable Stuart Young,
A man with energy, always checking for me. Don't let up at all, let's answer when we call. But he can't go wrong, he always vibrant and he's strong, energetic and he young, Stuarty. When I hear it, I didn't believe it. I went and checked it, they say he wears it. We have a new leader, he's strong with willpower, the best.
Point Fortin, let me hear you. Labre, let me hear you. Maruga, let me hear you. Trinidad and Tobago, let me hear you. Good night, good night, good night. I'd like to start off by paying my respect to the Mayor of Point Fortin, Alderman Clyde James, to your Member of Parliament and my colleague Kennedy Richards, to Minister Randall Mitchell, who will be the next Member of Parliament for Labre, to Minister Paula Gopi Schoon, leading our next MP for Maruga Table and Lisa Atwater, to the various candidates that I've seen gathered here tonight from Separia, Tabakit, Dubé. I am proud. Of course, to our matriarch in the People's National Movement, to our Auntie Joan, to all of the other executive members of the PNM. I know Deputy Political Leader Rohan, Minister Rohan Sinanan is here. We have Irene Hines here. I saw Indar Parasaram. And to all others who are here, welcome. Welcome to Point Fortin. Citizens, I have to have some serious conversation with Trinidad and Tobago tonight. So I would ask you all to pay particular attention over the next few minutes. I know it's late and I don't want to keep us here too late. The first thing I'd like to say to all of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, right here from Point Fortin, is that as the Prime Minister, I recognize that in today's volatile world, in today's world where by the day things are changing across the globe, tariffs and all these types of things taking place, there is a sense of nervousness. I recognize here for us in Trinidad and Tobago that we are concerned about issues of crime and our safety and our security, that we, the citizens, are concerned about the cost of living, that we, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, are concerned about our economy. And I recognize that. And that, to me, as the Prime Minister, is a good sign, because it shows that citizens are zeroed in. It shows that citizens are connected. And I want to start tonight by saying that we in the government acknowledge these problems. We in the government acknowledge the sense of nervousness and that little bit of anxiety. But I have come here to the Southwestern Peninsula tonight to carry a conversation with you and to the rest of Trinidad and Tobago. Let your hearts not be fearful. Because you see, you have a government that has built a stable platform. You have a government now that is ready to write the new chapter. You have a Prime Minister who has come here tonight to ask everyone here, everyone in Point Fortin, Siparia, Tabakit, Labre, Maruga, Tabelon. Where? Faizabad. And all over Trinidad and Tobago to give us the mandate. Give us in the People's National Movement your vote, because I intend for us to take Trinidad and Tobago in a new direction. What you have seen and what you are seeing unfold in front of you in a fast, vibrant, energetic manner is change. Because we recognize that Trinidad and Tobago requires change. We recognize, and I recognize, and the cabinet that I lead recognize that the time for change is now. And I am asking you here tonight, Trinidad and Tobago, personally, as a citizen who is fighting for Trinidad and Tobago and fighting the future, for the future of our young children that we see around us, who is prepared to take on anyone who stands in the way of Trinidad and Tobago and our progress. I am asking you for your confidence and to see that the energy, the winds of change are behind us in the PNM to take Trinidad and Tobago forward in the next 5 years. Because we have serious decisions to make. This is not about old talk. This is not about standing up and making false promises. I will never do that. This is about us avoiding 15-1. This is about us avoiding the IMF. But tonight, in the time that I have, I want to address Trinidad and Tobago on two important issues and items: our youth and energy, very briefly. Because you see, I know, as well as you, the more senior amongst us know, that our young people are crying out. I recognize that our young people across Trinidad and Tobago are looking for direction. They're looking for leadership. They're looking for a sense of purpose. They're looking for people to believe in them. And young people of Trinidad and Tobago are young citizens. I stand here tonight and give you my commitment that I will work with tireless energy and I will fight who I need to fight with to ensure that our young people of Trinidad and Tobago have a future ahead of them. And only a PNM will do that. You heard Kennedy Richards. You heard Kennedy Richards remind you what a UNC government did in dismantling youth camps, what they did in taking apart programs that a PNM government had set up for our young people. I want to share a story with you all tonight. Because you see, we can't continue the way people want us to continue. I was coming back from Tobago this morning, having spent some time in Tobago over the last couple of days, fighting for the people of Tobago and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And you would have seen yesterday that very successfully we managed to get all of the Tobago stakeholders around a table. Farley and the THA, Watson Duke and his other partner in the PDP, all of the hotel association, the fishermen, the farmers, those who have business. And by the end of that, I had gotten consensus from all of them that we should invite Sandals to come. I tell you that story. And they all signed to it. And I saw Watson Duke in the papers this morning, who wasn't there to sign, confirm he welcomes Sandals to consider Trinidad and Tobago in particular. There are two parts of that I want you to understand. The first is that it is only a PNM government under our leadership could call Adam Stewart and invite him and his whole team to come back to Tobago, after those on the other side ran them, and every opportunity they get in Parliament criticize and attack and say, where's Sandals gone? I tell that story so you will understand that you have a PNM government and you have someone who is offering himself to you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to always do what is right for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. To go from meeting to meeting, to go from meeting to walk with candidates, to go from walking to candidates, to take on the office of the Prime Minister, and to conduct the business all the time on your behalf. The story I want to tell you is when I was coming back on the plane this morning, I heard a voice ask the person sitting next to me, do you think it would be possible to speak to the Prime Minister? So immediately I said yes, and I ushered for him to come and speak. And when I looked up, it was a young man dressed in a CAL uniform as one of the attendants on that short flight from Tobago to Trinidad. And the young man said, may I ask you a question? I said, sure, of course you may. And he said, I used to live in Shafford Court. Shafford Court is in my constituency, an HDC development from the 1980s. And he said, I went to school, and coming out of school, had great difficulty in getting a job. And he said, after getting a job, now I'm having great difficulty in getting a house. And he said, I want to ask you, as the Prime Minister, and as my representative, my MP, what is your government's plans for people like myself? And you see, that was a very, very important interaction, because that is a question that our youth are asking all across Trinidad and Tobago. And I was happy for the opportunity to engage him, and I'm happy that he gave me the opportunity now to use that to tell the whole of Trinidad and Tobago what our vision is for the future for our young people going forward. Because you see, this PNM government is constantly thinking about how realistically and responsibly we can look after all of our citizens. And I'm particularly concerned about our young citizens because they must not lose hope and they must know that people are fighting for them. So I told him, the first thing we're going to do is reform the education system. Because we recognize that the education system now is outdated. And when I've been asking questions, whilst some schools may be offering what we call technical vocation, not every student is academically inclined. Not every student wants to do what the books say. And I stand here tonight as your Prime Minister asking for your mandate and your vote along with a PNM government on the 28th to implement the next set of plans I'm going to share with you. We will focus and prioritize our spend, your tax money on ensuring that schools have the resources for the tech voc so that students who don't want to pursue academics because they are not inclined to that, you still have to do your math and your English and the subjects, but you now have the opportunity in secondary school. So whilst they may offer it, I have been getting reports that unfortunately in some areas there has not been enough focus. Because as I told that young man, every citizen needs a plumber. Every citizen at some stage needs a mason. Every citizen at some stage needs a joiner. Every citizen at some stage needs someone who can do that technical vocation work. And you are no less a citizen for excelling in those areas than the brightest doctor or the brightest engineer. And that is my attitude and that is my promise and commitment to the young people. We are going to reform the education system. And I could go further than that. Because I was sitting with Prime Minister Mia Mottley, the chairman of CARICOM, on a plane a few Wednesdays ago up to Jamaica and down. And I began that conversation with her because you know why? CXC needs to change the syllabus. CXC needs to recognize that times have changed. And Prime Minister Mottley from Barbados, who's the chairman of CARICOM, says she agrees and believes the same thing. So immediately there now, with a PNM Prime Minister, you have a commitment along with other Prime Ministers in the region that we are going to look at reforming it for our young people. Now, the point is, it is a young, energetic, vibrant, dedicated, patriotic PNM Prime Minister that would do that, compared to the stories you would hear of those on the other side when they're sitting on a plane. That's the first thing. We are going to look at how do we improve and reform our education system to start so people don't feel left behind. You don't feel, well, if I am not good at science or I am not good at history, it makes you any less of a citizen. No. Because we require and we have to provide. That's the first thing. It is this government in the last 5 years that took the decision for the first time in our history and set up the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. Those of you following would have heard me give a commitment to Tobago that Tobago will get its own MyLAT program when we are voted in on April 28th. That ministry that Minister Foster Cummings leads has been doing tremendous work, and it comes out of a PNM recognition, a PNM policy, and a PNM dedication to ensure that our young people are given opportunities to learn about heavy machinery, to learn about air conditioning, to learn skills that you can now employ. So that was the second part of the conversation with the young man, saying that we are going to promote that young people, because the government cannot provide jobs for everyone. And nor do I want our young people to just say they want a government job. What I want the government to do and what we're going to do is we're going to provide more resources to that ministry to ensure that we get young entrepreneurs who could have their own businesses, work with their friends, be successful in life. We're going to teach them and give them the skills to do that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use technology to form a massive job data bank that is not only government jobs. When you look in the newspapers, you look on social media, you look around, you see so many private businesses having job openings. But if you here in Point Fortin don't see it because they're stuck somewhere on somebody's notice board in another part of the country, in San Fernando, etc., how is that helping the young people of Point Fortin, or helping Lisa down in Maruga Tableland, or helping Faizabad, or helping Tabaquite, or helping us in Port of Spain? So the time has come for the Ministry of Labor, and I can tell you we have approved the project and we will get it done as a PNM government, to have a database that all private sector, all government jobs could be put up there on a proper computer database, that you type your name, you put in your information, what your skill set is, and it matches you with job opportunities. Because our young people deserve direction. Our young people need to be shown that there is hope and there is opportunity, and we will deliver it. The next PNM government, in writing the new chapter that I'm sharing with you tonight, is going to deliver that change. This is not old talk. This is not somebody standing up reading a script that somebody gave to him or her and trying to mama guide the population. This is PNM talk under young, correct? Because you see, red is the word. Red is the word. Housing. So the young man's second part of his conversation was about housing. There is no easy solution to housing. Anybody who says otherwise is leading you down a garden path of no return. But the next PNM government that you vote in on April 28th, I am giving you the commitment here tonight as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. We are going to start a program across Trinidad to start, because Tobago is under the control of the THA. We'll have discussions with them. But in Trinidad, we're going to start a program where on state land across Trinidad, we are going to develop to start 3,000 lots and provide the infrastructure, the electricity connections, the water connections, and the house plans for young people as first-time owners to purchase and to build their own houses according to those plans. We are going to start with the HDC database for first-time young people and young owners with a mortgage that they could afford of between $1 million and $1.5 million. We will provide you with the plans, and you will build your own house for your family, a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom to start under a PNM government. And that is what we will do as a start for you. Because you see, Trinidad and Tobago, we will do it responsibly. We will do it thinking of the next generation. I would never, and no PNM minister would stand up on a platform and promise $20 billion worth of goodies that you cannot deliver. So you would see as we roll out and the manifesto is coming, everybody want to see the manifesto. It's about timing. It's about timing, because you see how things are. But tonight, young people, young citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and the parents who are guiding them, and the grandparents who are guiding them, who want better for our youth. That is how we are going to start addressing our young people. We're going to make sure that the money is put in ways that they become productive, proud, patriotic citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And that is PNM policy. Just before I touch very briefly on energy, I want to assure the senior citizens of Trinidad and Tobago once again, because I understand all of them, meaning the UNC and their agents, are still trying to terrorize you, that our PNM government is going to interfere with your pension. Well, I stand here tonight again as your Prime Minister to again give you the public assurance again that the PNM government is not tomorrow and is not after the 29th of April when you vote us back in for 5 more years touching the senior citizen pension. It is safe. The goalpost is not moving. They are lying to you. The UNC has embarked on a campaign. The UNC has embarked on a campaign of lies, dishonesty, and misinformation, where by tomorrow lunchtime, they will take what I have said here today, tonight, and they will manipulate it into their lies. Watch and see. And that is what yellow is the code mean, but we say red is the word. Today as the Prime Minister, I had to call a press conference that I didn't intend to call when I woke up this morning. Because you see, we received some news today about what we've been working on with the Dragon gas deal. But I want to remind the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that yes, I went as Prime Minister as soon as I could, a very hastily called press conference for one reason. Because I have given a commitment in keeping with what we have done for the last 9.5 years, that we will be honest, truthful, and transparent with the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because that is what we deserve in Trinidad and Tobago. So when I got the news on your behalf, because it's for you, it is for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, it's for those young children I see. Yesterday I was walking in Tobago with MP Shamfa Kujo, and a car pulled up on an intersection. And I looked at it, and the door opened, so I'm looking for somebody to get out. Two little children, that high, ran out the car, across the road, started to hug me up. Say, Shorty, our Prime Minister, we leave him out here in school. That, and when I was walking in here, is the same thing. It is for those children, your grandchildren, and our future. That is what gives me the energy. That is what gives me the drive. And that is what gives me the authority to stand here tonight as your Prime Minister and to say, I will continue to fight for Trinidad and Tobago and for the future of Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to warn Trinidad and Tobago to look closely and carefully at the behavior of people who don't want what is better for Trinidad and Tobago, and Dragon gas is better. 2016, we came up with the idea. By 2018, we had negotiated a term sheet. 2019 sanctions stopped it. Who was it that rejoiced? Who was happy? And the same headline the media running now is what they ran in 2019. Dragon dead. You all remember that? It wasn't dead. Your PNM government that you put into office, and it was Dr. Rowley and myself in 2022, found a way into the halls of the decision making in Washington, D.C., and we eventually got 2 OFAC licenses, one for Dragon and one for Coquina Mannequin. Very quickly thereafter, we got the licenses from Venezuela, 30 years for Dragon, 20 years for Coquina Mannequin. You didn't hear them then. Immediately, all along, they're trying to pull it down. I'm putting Trinidad and Tobago on notice tonight of 2 things. Anybody who tells you that they are happy and that they're celebrating what has now happened, which is, to me, another hurdle in the road. We have crossed many hurdles getting as far as we have. And I stand here tonight and give you my commitment that you give me the mandate and you give the PNM the mandate, and I will continue to fight for our children and for you in Trinidad and Tobago. We will fight, we will fight, we will fight for what is right. Because I know that the PNM government that I am a part of and that I am privileged to lead, and if you give me the mandate on the 28th of April, that I will continue to lead on the 29th of April, will bring home what is best for Trinidad and Tobago. So let me tell you why there is no need to be nervous about it and no need to be anxious. Because they like to sell a story that all the eggs in the dragon basket. Not true. You have seen in the last 3 years, 5 years, because we've been working on it, the UNC did nothing between 10 and 15, not a single gas supply contract. It takes you a while when you start working. You would have seen me last week explain with a BP project that we got in 2022, it took 2.5 years to get the gas, so it takes time. There are plenty projects going on out there. In La Brea, they just finished building the infrastructure and fabricating for Mentor, which was EOG BP, employing 400 people from La Brea and Point Fortin, because we fought for that. When Ansel Roger stood up and said, take your rig and go, as an irresponsible leader, that almost shut down Tufco. But we fought for Tufco to get the work. Right after, as that platform sailed out, immediately they started building fabricating the largest infrastructure ever done in Trinidad and Tobago at Tufco for Manatee. Manatee is coming in 2027. I met with Shell's head globally of gas a few days ago, and we have plans for that. But you see, as you should have learned about us by now and about me, it is all about timing. You have to do the work, then you make the announcement when it is real and when it happens. Not like them on the other side making promises they could never deliver. So in the gas sector, I will speak about it on another night, but everything is going to be fine. We will continue to fight. We have a lot of projects going on in Trinidad and Tobago's waters. And Manatee will come on, and there are other things that we're working on. But do not give up hope, because you would have given up hope in 2019. You would have given up hope when we got the first OFAC license, and they said, oh, Maduro vex. I could tell you all tonight, if I could share this phone with you all, I was in touch with the government of Venezuela on the way down here, commitment there, and then having conversations as well with some of the decision makers we need to speak to on the way down here as well. So you give us the mandate, and I will bring it home in some form or fashion for us. all of our eggs are not in the dragon basket. Let me quickly touch on the refinery, because the refinery affects the southwestern peninsula, from Claxton Bay come down to the southwestern peninsula. Don't buy this stupid talk that Roger and others trying to sell about we shut down Petrotrin. By now everybody knows that is not true. We closed the refinery because the inefficiencies and our drop in oil was costing us, the taxpayers, billions of dollars. And I remind you tonight, in 2018, we had to write off a loss of $16 billion. So don't buy that stupid talk. But immediately we went out and asked who wants an opportunity to run the refinery. Roger took the union's money and set up a company called Patriotic Energies. We work with them because I used to fight for OWTU, and every OWTU worker who is truthful will tell you that. That story that I believe is Kennedy told or Randall told about Roger and Kamla fighting. I was the one when Kamla was busting Roger's throat and gave instructions, get rid of him from Trinidad in 2015. I did that matter for Roger and helped him to keep his job. But I ain't taking blame for here. We gave them the opportunity, Patriotic. We sat, we worked with them. We tried to make it work. But if you have snake oil salesmen around you, you're always going to make the wrong decisions. So you squander the money and you end up in that, and you couldn't make it work. But I didn't stop there. We didn't stop there. We kept telling the world there's a refinery. Bring your crude, bring your money, and start it back. We went through a second process. We got some, again, is the UNC attacking it. The UNC attacking it. Didn't work out. The third process, I told you all the other night, Jindal, his mother is the fourth richest woman in the world. He is one of the most successful billionaires in India. Wanted to come, came, looked at the refinery. Who mashed that up? Kamla. The same Kamla who holding hands with Roger now. And that is what denied you that opportunity. But we didn't stop. We went through a proper, transparent process. There is now a Nigerian firm that is $1 billion US firm that has gotten the opportunity to negotiate with TPHL to reopen that refinery. I am telling the people of Point Fortin, people of La Brea, people of Claxton Bay, people of San Fernando, people of Oropuch, all of the surrounding areas. You have to tell Ansel Roger, who does not represent the full voice of all of the workers. Tell them you want that refinery opened and it's not costing you a cent, because it will re-employ our workers. They're going to use local labor. Do not let the UNC and Ansel Roger spoil that because of some backroom promise that she made with him